Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show at snowboarding you tune into to find out what I think the top 5 bindings are for 2025. That's right, wrote a lot of them this year. These are my picks. And if you're shopping online, remember, we got affiliate links down in the description below, so that way you don't have to go hunting for them yourself. Now let's get right into this list. Number 5, the Fix Nation. Now, some of you are probably like, really? A fix binding? There's not much to it, and that's what I like about it. It's just a meat and potatoes binding with very minimal adjustability to it. You can set it up relatively quick. If you're on a budget, it's gonna work for just a broad spectrum of abilities. It's a binding you don't have to overthink about. You can just get it on the board and go ride. Is it the best binding out there? No, but is it consistently decent enough to get you through a day? Hell yeah, it is. That's what I really like about it. Fix does some cool things that are a little unique to them, and the Nation is just that binding that you can get on and not have to worry about it. Number 4, the Union Falcor. I hated the old Falcor, not gonna lie. Hated it. Piece of shit. Didn't give a crap about it. Actual only binding I almost threw in a trash can midway down Steamboat because it was riding so bad. That's how much I hated it. New one? Love it. Absolutely love it. That heel strap is absolutely amazing. You do not feel that when you crank it down. Like the way the pressure distributes over your instep, you do not feel this thing. It's sorcery. And then the way the base tray sits on the board and how that flexes and everything, it's weird because it's responsive yet surfy. In my opinion, this is one of the best Union bindings on the market. Yeah, it comes at a premium price, which is why it's not higher on this list, but damn, is it good. Number 3, the Union Force. Ha! Gotcha, 2 Unions on this list. All the fanboys are probably having their head explode right now because they can't believe that I'm actually recommending multiple Unions. Did not like the old Force. Did not like it at all. New Force, this is what I consider a quintessential workhorse binding. You can just do everything with it. Between the strap revamp, the chassis revamp, the high back revamp, it's just better. It's a binding that you don't have to really think about. You can set it up, go out, ride, and it's solid. I really do just like the way that this rides. It's consistent. It's predictable. It's a binding that I can put anyone from a high-level beginner to an expert on and be like, hey, here's what you need. Don't really overthink it. It's got a little bit of adjustability to it. Go out and ride. You're gonna own this for a couple years, and by the time it claps out, there'll be something new for you. Number 2, the Bataleon Astro Asym. What can I say about this binding? 1, damp, underfoot. You got solid adjustments to this. I like those kinked ladders. Once you play around with them and figure out where you want that heel strap position, you can really dial it in. It's 9 points of articulation. The toe strap really grips over just about any boot shape, and that thicker heel strap, while it is more of like an Ox-Tech strap that will just contour over your instep, it's a little thicker. It allows you to really drive into it with a little bit more power. Overall, yes, it is a repackaged Rome chassis, so the heel cup and the base, but the foot pad, the heel strap, the toe strap, and the high back are proprietary to Rome. Plus the kinked ladders, that's really something that was designed for Bataleon. I love this binding. Like every time I get on it, I'm like, damn, this is a good binding. Lacks a little bit of adjustability compared to the Katanas, but you know, nice thing is these bindings are modular, so if you want to play around with Rome and Bataleon parts, you can. I have. You should try it. Hey, we're about halfway through this top 5. Why don't you go down, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, why don't you subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the programming we've got coming out for you. And trust me, we've got a ton of programming for you. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of my list. The Salomon District Team Pro. What I like about this is that you get the quantum base with the team straps and high back on it. So that is a little bit of a more rigid shadow fit chassis. So shadow fit gives you a little more play in the ankle, so you can kind of get some micro movements in there. But this isn't as much as other versions of it. This is just, like I said, a little bit more rigid. It's a good all-around binding that kind of does it, and knowing that you get a higher end chassis at a lower price point is kind of nice. Next up, we have the Nitro One. This is just a rad binding. Like, you look at the heel strap of this and you're like, holy shit, that looks cheap as shit, but it works. It just locks you in. You get that air dampening in there so that it gives you just that padding that you want, and it'll help kill off that kinetic energy. You got some solid adjustments with it. I do know that some people have been having issues with the ladder straps breaking. Nitro's fixing that for the future, just in case anyone is wondering about that. And finally, we have the K2 edition. This is made with caster bean. And the nice thing about caster beans are they're a little more resilient to the cold, so that plastic that they use, it doesn't firm up as much. And so getting on these and knowing that they're kind of a spiritual successor to the lean ATs, you can feel that the heel strap works, you can feel that the base pad and everything, just, it works. It's just good. Like, you can put a multitude of people in it and not have to worry about it. Like I said, these were all great options. They just didn't crack the top 5 of my list. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. And my number 1 binding for 2025 is the Rome Katana Pro. Basically, this is what the black label became. It's got a little bit of a different high back. You got 64 points of articulation in the heel strap alone. So for you people that have ankle pressure and problems, that's rectified. You got the Oxtec heel strap as well, so that really contours over your foot. You got Oxtec toe strap, that fits a good variety of it. You got a ton of adjustments on this binding. Basically, it's probably the most adjustable binding on the market. Actually, I think it truthfully is. The nice thing is they got carbon in the base of the binding, so you get more response toe to heel, and then with that Asym wrap, you can still get that lateral play. That's what I like about this binding. Like, I got on this and I was like, damn, this is just a good responsive binding. Yeah, you pay a little bit more and it's up in price, similar to that of our number 4 option, the Falcor on there, and they're very comparable. But for me, having ridden Rome bindings for so long, this just makes sense to me. Like, I really, really like this binding. All right, this has been my top 5 binding choices for 2025. That's right, my choices. So if you didn't see something and you wanted to be validated, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. I don't really care. It's my choices. Deal with it.